What up? What up? This is Late Night Live, episode 17. We got everyone with us again tonight. Uh, Ace of Jacks Media Grounds. Chris, how you doing, bro?
Good. Another week. Another week.
Yep, still kicking it. 8-bit gaming legend, Dathan.
Good evening, class.
Good evening, Professor. Mr. Travis, how are you, sir?
I'm good, but I'm frozen.
You are frozen.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at that.
that's a good one. I'll
If you need to come,
yeah, I'll quit and come right back.
yeah, no problem.
Crazy.
I thought he was just trying to see how long he could stay in one position for, the show.
Well, Chris was having that problem last week. So when I came on tonight, my microphone wasn't working. It's like, oh, my computer did some kind of Windows update, and it messed around with some of the settings. I think you're still frozen, Travis.
I'm still frozen. My audio.
You can
looks
if
great.
you want, you can just do audio.
I know. Crazy. It's taking little pictures of me, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
that's all
too.
good.
Don't look out your window.
No, it's okay.
Eric, how are you, sir?
Doing well. Thank you.
Looks like your camera's working. So it's been a fun week gaming. I got a whole bunch of new games, and I'd like to talk about it with you guys. Thanks for everyone for joining. And Chris, did you get to play any games last week?
I actually played quite a few games this last week. From Botany Manor, another Crab's Treasure. I tried out Manor Lords today. It was just dropped on Game Pass. And then, of course, I'm still playing Prince of Persia, the whatever that one was. I can't even remember.
I want to say
the name
Sands
of
of Time, but it's not Sands of Time.
No,
It's
the
the new one,
Lost Prince.
The Lost Prince.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Now
Still playing that one.
I just want to see who beats the game first, you or Dathan.
Oh, I'm like 5 hours in or something like that. I'm not very far.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. It's how long is the game? The game's not that long though. The game might be 15, 20 hours, so don't feel bad if you're only 5. That's still quite a big chunk of it.
Yeah, but some of those effing puzzles where you gotta dodge and move around, and
Oh God!
you gotta shadow and go back, and you got a big giant graboid chasing you and stuff like that.
Graboids.
Yeah.
There's an insane one around the middle of the map. It's it's one where you go into this main room and you have to memorize where the traps are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets so complicated. And I looked at it online. There's a reward. You get like whatever the chest at the end was. It's not worth your time. So I was like, I'm not gonna 100% this game. Like, it's not. The reward was not worth. And you'll see what I mean when you get there. And I saw there's also a YouTube cheat. There was a cheat where you get sucked into the room and you use the time warp to get sucked back down, and the door will shut or open. And it's so much of a hassle. So you'll when you get to this part, you'll know what I'm talking about. But other than that, the game is pretty fun. So just keep at it, guys. But Dathan, did you get to play any more Prince of Persia?
I did. I played some Prince of Persia. I did pick up the Ninja Turtle, the arcade game that we played.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got it super cheap.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to it.
Sure.
There's no online co-op. It's just couch co-op.
Oh.
Right.
And I did pick up because PlayStation or PlayStation Network's having their spring sale or their May sale. So I got Tales from Galaxy's Edge for, I think, for $11 or something. I haven't played it yet, but I picked that up, so I'm hoping to try that out this weekend.
It was actually an enjoyable one. I bought it on the Quest.
I was gonna buy it when it came out, but I was like, yeah, I don't want to spend full price. But I think it was 70% off, so it was kind of a no-brainer.
Nice.
But that's pretty much it, all for right now that I can think of.
And you bought something Transformers related.
I did. I didn't. I pre-ordered it.
Pre-ordered it.
Yes. Or sometime in the next 3 to 4 months or something like that. So I got some time to save up for it.
Nice.
Yeah. Well worth it. Well worth it.
Do you have what he's talking about? Is he has bought those? Well, I don't know if this is your first one, but
no,
maybe
this is the third one. Fourth.
So you already have the other two?
It's got all the other ones.
So the only one I don't have is the Grimlock.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that is, I think it was 1,600.
Oh my lord!
It's cool. I saw it in person when I was at TFCon last month. But it's not. I think the Megatron and Optimus are way better. The Bumblebee doesn't transform.
Right.
It's its own thing. And then obviously Optimus's trailer that transforms into this battle station and all that stuff.
Right.
But those are the ones that I currently have. But yeah, I'm not gonna. If Grimlock gets a lot cheaper, then maybe. But I'm not dropping 1,500, 1,600 on it. It's too much.
Sure. So you have the trailer or you don't?
I do have the trailer. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I wanted to ask you too. Like, what's the next one you think they should do after?
So I've
Megatron?
heard. Well, obviously they're gonna wait until Megatron is released and all that stuff is kind of on the back burner a little bit. I have heard rumblings about Soundwave possibly. I think that's kind of the next one, or I don't know if they'll do another Decepticon. They might go back and do maybe Hot Rod, possibly. Those are the two names that I've heard. But if I had to guess, I would probably say Soundwave would be the next one.
Soundwave would be cool.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. Like, I saw that video on CNET. That lady Bridget Carey, like, seems like she's always introducing like cool new tech and fun stuff. And like, I saw that, like, oh man, I gotta send it to you. So I don't know if that was the first time you saw it. Was like,
well, they released the video. The launch video got released a day early, I guess.
Oh,
so
okay.
they tried to get rid of all the YouTube videos and stuff, but you could find little snippets on Reddit, little clips here and there to kind of put it together, and it was, it exactly what it was. But the only thing that is a little bit off, just a little bit, is his color is a little bit more of a dark gray. But if that's the only fault that I'm noticing with this, then that's totally okay with me. I'll deal with it.
Dope. When is it supposed to ship?
They said third quarter of this year, but if it's anything like Optimus or Grimlock, it'll probably be a month or two prior to that.
Okay.
They're pretty good about their shipping.
Are you doing directly from their website, or are you doing Hasbro Pulse?
I went directly from their website because they have an extended warranty on these. And with so many moving parts, microchips, all these different things, I didn't want to risk it. And I did the same thing when I bought Optimus in the trailer. So I didn't want, I think it's a 3-year warranty extended on it. Because my Optimus, I did have a problem with it when I, a couple weeks after, the leg wouldn't move. So I had to send it back, and they sent me a new one. So I don't want to have that thing with Megatron.
They sent you a whole new robot, or they sent you just the leg?
They sent me a whole new robot, a whole new Optimus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Good on them.
Yeah, their customer service, it's pretty top notch.
Excellent. That's good to hear. When you're putting down that kind of money, I would hope that the customer service would be really good.
Yeah.
So that's good to hear. Travis, did you get to play any games last week?
Yeah, still cranking away at Valhalla. Still doing my Hearthstone thing when I'm in the gym. But yeah, that's still going. I'm getting to the point now where I think that I'm itching to beat Valhalla, but at the same time, I am kind of a completionist with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
still cranking away. Probably I think 60 hours into it thus far. So yeah.
Cool. And Eric, Darkest Dungeon update.
Yeah, I actually have substantial update.
Oh, good.
I beat level 3. I watched some guy's YouTube channel about how he approached it and cribbed some of his strategies, and it worked. It worked really well, actually. Yeah, I'd give him a shout out, but I forgot who it was. But yeah, I'll link it to the I'll link to that video when this goes up on YouTube. But yeah, beat that. Still, so there's one dungeon left, and then I'll have beaten Darkest Dungeon, and just in time for the PlayStation 5 release of Darkest Dungeon 2. And I played a little bit of This War of Mine on Switch.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't even realize you had a Switch.
Yeah, I've got a Switch. And it was on sale. I think I mentioned this a few shows ago. It was on super sale for like $4. So I picked it up then and just got to playing it this last week a bit. I didn't care for the interface so much, so it made me not want to continue playing it as much as I was hoping. The like responsiveness of the controls is kind of slow because they go for that kind of original like PC Prince of Persia version rotoscoped kind of feel, where if you turn directions, you've got to wait for the animation to catch up to your input. So anyway, yeah, that's what I was playing. Chris, this Botany Manor game looks a lot like Strange Horticulture. I don't know if anybody played that one, but
I don't know. I don't think I played that one, but this one is. I mean, it's just it's a puzzle game. You go in, find the different seeds, and then you have to try and figure out how to make the flowers grow based on the clues around the area that you're in. There's roughly 4 chapters to it, 5 chapters to the game, and like the first chapter is. It's 1 seed. Second one is like 2 different seeds you have to try and go through. Travis is at a disco rave right now. I don't know.
I know. This is so crazy.
I think it's your custom background, because I had the same issue a while ago.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
But why was it frozen? Oh,
no, it's not frozen now.
No, it's not.
You're still blinky, but not quite as blinky.
I know.
All right.
I know.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Botany Manor. If it's one of those games that you have like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours to, you could probably complete it in that much time, because that's how long it took me to go through and finish the game. The puzzles aren't incredibly difficult. It's just looking for all the clues and everything. Once you have them, you can figure out how to make the flowers grow.
Sure.
Pretty easy. So it's just it's a quick casual game if you want. I don't think I would have paid full price for it. I'm glad it was on Game Pass. Because I think they want, let's see if I can find the price for this thing. $25 for it. And the amount of time I spent on it, it might be a $10 game, maybe. It's kind of it's a weird thing when you look at like the value of a video game versus the value of a movie. Like most of us will I'll pay a couple bucks to go see a movie, but then you get a game and it's like game gives you 60 hours of enjoyment, but you're like,
wasn't worth it.
I'm really having a hard time breaking this 5 for this game.
Yeah, right.
But I think that's a good point though. That seems like for some reason it's held a lot higher, like you're saying, the standard of what you're looking for quality wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whereas we get so much out of it, like we get so much playtime out of these games, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm looking at my playtime for Strange Horticulture. I only played through it once and was able to beat it in 7 hours. So,
But
yeah,
that's,
it's
I mean,
also a short game.
but to Chris's point, like that's worth it, right? Like that's to a movie, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, you would. I mean, you would think that that would be worth it, but for some people, it's like, yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
to spend. I mean, ticket prices for movies nowadays are, if you go to the theater, you spend $14-15 per person. And then if you want popcorn, candy, and everything, a single trip to the movie for say an hour and a half long film, which seems to be the perfect time for most movies, is an hour and a half. You could end up spending $100 plus there.
Yeah.
And then we look at games that are $70, and it's like, oh, hey, according to these review sites, this game could take 30-40 hours to beat. It's going to give you enjoyment and everything. And you just kind of like, yeah, but I don't want to drop $70 for this game.
For me, I think the value is with the video games. I'm sorry, like when you're in front of a television, when you're in front of a movie theater, it's not very interactive. Maybe you're thinking about stuff, but when you're playing a game, you're actually playing the game. Like, you're the one deciding to do A versus B versus
Mhm.
C, and you're making the choices. And there's multiple different kinds of games you can play, but for me, the value is with gaming, and I think the new generation of kids and people out there, I think they'll see the value in it. And
Oh yeah, I mean the industry has spoken, right?
right,
The video game industry makes way more money than like movies and music and I think even television combined, right? So,
right.
yeah, I think most people agree with that sentiment. The comment was $20 for 7 hours of entertainment is worth it, and it was worth it. And I could play that game again. Strange Horticulture has a bunch of different endings that I don't even know about. I've only one playthrough, right? I could squeeze more value out of that game if I wanted to. Go back to it and play it again and get more value. It's yeah.
It all depends on, like, what you got on your docket, uh, what priorities you want to play. So for me, I bought a whole bunch of stuff this week. So I got my guitar
Oh
for
yeah, I watched that video. Thanks for posting that.
thank you. And I didn't really put too much time in it, but it looks like I'm glad it's like doing well. I think I did a really clickbaity thumbnail for it, so I appreciate everyone. But my wife is really good at those Guitar Hero games, so
Cool.
uh, we're jamming it, and like I playing those guitar games, like it totally brings me back to that muscle memory, trying to figure things out. Like we were playing games on hard, and it comes right back, and I'm like, and then you try it on hard, you have to do like all 5 notes,
Hmm.
and you really get a good workout. And then you go back to like a medium song, and then you can nail it. I don't
Hmm.
know. So, um, my buddy Chris in Albany goes by the name of Speed online. He also ordered one of those guitars and through Amazon, and they canceled his order. So I was really pissed.
Hmm.
He was really pissed too, of course. And it came back in stock the other day, and it looks like he was able to get one. So I'm really happy that he got one. He used to do rock band sessions with like his friends would come over like on a Friday night, and they would jam. And I used to make fun of him a little bit for it, but no, I totally get it.
It's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I got Rock Band 4. It was $10, and there's like 100 songs on there. I think Maybe I even downloaded them all. So need to do that. I got Stellar Blade. Well, let me take that back. I got the Ninja Turtle game that Dathan got. I got it a day before the release date, which was cool. And that was through Best Buy. They sent it to me a day early.
Hmm.
And then I got Stellar Blade a day early. Yeah. Okay. Dude, you've been playing Stellar Blade too. With both my hands. Thank you. um, but,
Congratulations, you know?
Stellar Blade, like I haven't really found anything that's too naughty about it. I don't know what people are. It plays really smooth. It's a good 60. I love those good frame rate games, and it feels really good on the PlayStation 5. So I'm probably 3 or 4 hours into it now. If you played the demo, you go right into where you left off. So I love that. And
So you're saying it's pretty smooth, and would you call it supple with the
yeah, very supple.
you just get right into the action if you've already gotten the demo out of the way, you know, you've
Yep.
done that, you've warmed it up, it's time, just jump right in. Is that what happened?
Yeah, there's your YouTube short right there.
Yeah.
But so there was that. I also picked up the new tennis game, Top Spin, and I haven't downloaded it yet, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I also dove back into MLB The Show 24 again today. So I was just like, I was all over the place. And then I took a vacation day. I went down to iWings today, Chris, and they had some connected pinballs there. I played. Oh God, what did I play? Iron Maiden. I played Venom, and I played Foo Fighters. They had those three. They also had Jurassic Park, but it wasn't connected. But I got new high scores on pretty much all three machines, and the food is good there. So yeah, definitely, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. So
Yeah, it on the outside it doesn't look as big as it is, but they only had the Jurassic Park machine the last time I was there, so they must have gotten them.
it's kind of in like a little bar area, and it was behind a little I don't know, barrier, and I went behind the barrier, and no one was back there, so it's like whatever. So the machine still took my money. I wanted to
Hang on, let me ask you about that Riffmaster machine, or that controller.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Are they going to do other instruments like the drum set and stuff too, or just the
I would
guitar?
think so. It looks like they didn't anticipate the demand for the guitar, because like if you go on Amazon right now, it says it's sold out
Again.
Yeah, so people wanted this thing, and I don't know when the last one exactly came out. It must have been 15 years ago. I know it's at least 10. But yeah, we need I think in Fortnite Festival, I don't know if you can play the drums or use a microphone, but you definitely can in Rock Band.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know how many people are using it for Fortnite versus Rock Band. It'd be an interesting thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
But we were just using it for Rock Band, and I definitely see the value in if they put out a new guitar, a new drum set, people would be into it, and they need to make more of them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on eBay, I think people are scalping them for like $300.
Wow.
It's not good. So definitely don't pick that up unless I guess you're super desperate. But I don't think anyone needs to do that. Just hold on. The company is PDP, and I don't know if I've ever bought anything from them, but Um, it seems like it's good quality. So just hold on, and I think more stuff will come in stock. Hopefully, they just need to make more.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know if Chris, you used to play some of those games, right?
Yeah, and then it got to the point where all I heard was the strum of the plastic going back and forth. Stopped hearing the music, and all I was just like, "Oh my god!" All I'm hearing is chunk, 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 chunk. Um, do you remember the quality of the old guitars? Does this one like comparable to with them?
Oh yeah,
Better,
very very
worse?
much. And thank you for the comment, Meatball Saucy. I still have both of my Wii guitars. That's cool. Um, I think the biggest selling point for this is it's completely wireless. You can use it wired, but um, having a wire, no wire on it, like that gives you the freedom to move around and jam, pretend jam. So you can also plug in a headset if you wanted to. So maybe you don't want to wake anyone up. Plug that in, and yeah, it feels good.
And then the cat jumps up and rips it out of the controller and wakes up everybody in the house.
Yeah, hopefully not. Okay, I do not want to show this ad. Okay, here we go. So, can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, they announced again, and I don't mean to make this a rant on Xbox or Microsoft, but like sometimes I just got to get stuff off my chest. And man, it's funny because we've been talking about X-Men 97 a lot, and I apologize, I did not watch this week's episode, but
What?
I will.
I'm
I
ahead
will
of you.
yeah, I will have to. I will have to watch it. But anyway, basically, Xbox is going to be coming out with a X-Men 97 wrapped Series X, and they're going to be coming out with a whole bunch of controllers. The only way to get these is if you win their sweepstakes.
Oh no.
And this is not the first time they've done this. And I thought this guy on VGC, Chris Scullion, he came up with a brilliant article that is exactly what I was thinking. And he published it as like, Xbox, it's time you stop taunting us with custom consoles we can't buy. And yeah, exactly. I would want to buy these. So, and he even goes through and shows all the different custom consoles that they've made that you can't buy. There's a Pac-Man one. There's a SpongeBob one. There's a like Ninja Turtles. Uh, Chris, we talked about that Final Fantasy one. I don't think maybe that came out already. I don't know.
Yeah.
Deathloop. I don't know if I saw that. Oh, and there's a Dune one. You see the Dune one? It's got a floating. The controller kind of floats over the
Yep.
sand. The first ever singing Xbox controller. I don't know what that's about, but I definitely know Bluey. There's a Barbie one. There's a Back for Blood, Wonka. So there's like so many tie-ins here. The Ninja Turtle movie from last year. It's a pizza controller that you plug on the back of it, and it would make your room smell like pizza. Like I would totally buy that. No, they didn't. Again, lock. They did that for a sweepstakes, and I don't know how many people got it. And Party Animals, they did a custom Series S there. I love how he posted all those there, and then like, can you guys see that? So there's all the controllers, and they come like a little like a bubble case, like an action figure.
Right.
That looks great. And maybe I wouldn't buy all of them, but maybe I'd get Cyclops or Wolverine or something like that, or Magneto. That'd be cool. Okay, and then they had these Space Jam controllers. These they did let you buy, and I have the one in the middle. I have the one that says Toon Squad. And now, am I a big fan of Space Jam: A New Legacy? No, I saw that movie. I thought it was pretty bad, but it's still a cool custom controller. And I don't know why. It seems like just they're leaving money on the table. People would buy more of this stuff if they allowed it. And then they did these wraps last year. These you can buy. Um, I got the Starfield one on the left there. They have these camo ones. I think that's probably more for Call of Duty. Um, but it's just, I, you know, uh, it just seems like they're leaving money off the table. And Microsoft talks about, I guess now they're not in the console wars and they're not trying to outsell the competitor with their consoles. They're just trying to sell their service, their live service, the Xbox Live. They're just trying to get subscriptions, but I still think they need to think about physical collectors. Maybe not so much the games, but like the controllers and all the accessories. Like they do a really good job of some of this stuff, but they need to make it available for the mass market to buy. So, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Like,
Well, I
I
think that
guess
they need to. Well, obviously they have the rights because they're putting these things out, so they should be at least be able to make the wraps with a Ninja Turtle or a SpongeBob thing. Just make the wrap to put on there.
yeah,
And second, I think with the controllers is that if you want, if if there's enough interest, which obviously there is, for these designs, whatever, expand the library of the Design Lab controller system so that you're able to make these and put these into however you want. I go to Comic Cons and I see there's a guy that who I've seen at probably like 5 or 6 conventions where he makes his own PS5 controllers and Xbox controllers, and he'll pretty much do anything. He'll put designs on them and put custom things on them. They are a little expensive, but I mean, it's something that Sony or Microsoft is not offering, but you can go pick up at conventions and stuff like that.
But at the economies of scale, they'd be producing these things. I'm sure they'd be cheaper to the price would come down. Buying something from the official retailer rather than some that guy Comic-Con.
Yeah, but I would if they were to add more stuff to for those people that don't know, like the Xbox Design Lab, where you can custom make your own controller, and now you can custom make an Elite controller. You can, if they were to add different things to that were a little bit more expensive, so you want this extra Ninja Turtle sticker or this little emblem on it, it's an extra $5.
Nathan, here's what's going to happen. They're going to come out with that Transformers 1 movie. They put out a Optimus Prime controller and they put out a Megatron controller.
So
they're gonna lock it behind the sweepstakes. You're gonna be pissed.
Stop you right there, because when I was at Emerald City Comic Con last month, that controller guy that I was just talking about, he had a PS5 controller, and he had 3 of them. He had one Autobot one, and then he had a Decepticon one. He had a hybrid one with, it was like half purple and half red. And I had to talk myself out of buying it because I was like, I don't need an 8th controller. I don't need that. Don't look at it. So I'd look at it and I'd be like, I can't do it. You gotta, go somewhere else. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did a Transformers 1 something or whatever.
Yeah, just remember, everyone here, like I'm the one that brought it up. So don't kill the messenger when it comes out. But so that was
you were talking about that Pizza Sense console. Did you know there's a Game Sense?
What does it smell like? What does Game Sense smell like to you?
So it's an AI gaming console device that you can attach to any console, but it has scents such as gunfire, explosion, forest, Clean Air, Storm, Racing Cars, and they're supposed to be coming out with Blood, Ocean, Sports Arena, and Fresh Cut Grass. So as you play the game, it will actually spray these scents into your room. So, you know.
Well, that might be good for some of these people because, like, I think some gamers are just figuring out how to use deodorant, and maybe they're in their 40s and they're still trying to figure out how to use deodorant or take a shower. So
I'm kind of curious what a sports arena smells like. Yeah, is it just going to be sweaty man?
it's probably not good. Meatball Saucy, I own both the Razer Xbox One Star Wars controllers. That's cool. Razer comes out with some really good stuff. So Razer, you can buy their stuff. So I'm not gonna diss on them. I think Razer's put out stuff for the Mandalorian. I don't know if you have any of those, Meatball Saucy, but that was cool. But maybe another company will come out with X-Men 97 stuff.
Yeah.
I was going to say, too, happy Alien Day to everybody. Today is 4/26. And if anyone did an Alien controller, I would buy that, too. So,
Well, did you see the Alien VR game that was announced today?
that's a good segue, Chris. Yes, I did. I saw that. I'm happy that it's going to be on PlayStation 5 VR, not just MetaQuest. So,
yeah.
Okay, here he goes. Yes, it is Mando and a Boba Fett controller. Sweet. Yeah, I bet those look really dope. But yeah, hopefully they make that game scary as shit and turn the lights off, and that I can't wait. So hopefully it's good.
Yeah, Alien Rogue Incursion.
I still need to play the Aliens game that came out last year. That's the top-down kind of shooter. I have it. I just haven't had time to crack it open. If you know what one, it's like dark something.
It's pretty interesting that they did the Alien VR one because the Alien Isolation VR conversion, I've done that. I've played through part of it. I didn't
Sweet.
get that far with it. But that was a huge, like to this day, people still talk about that. And that was just that game modded for, to work with the Oculus stuff or with PC VR. And so that's pretty smart that they would go ahead and take that and say, okay, let's make an actual real VR port, your real VR game with it. So I didn't see that announcement, but that's cool though.
Well, and this company, Servius,
yeah, like Meatball says, it's intense, yeah.
Servius is the one that is making this one. They'd actually announced that they were making an Alien game 2 years ago, and that they'd partnered with 20th Century Games to do this. So this was the first actual news anybody got today about it.
Yeah, the way the Alien Isolation one came about was apparently that game was designed with a VR tie-in, and then they abandoned it. So then somebody found that and they modded the game pretty quickly to work with PC VR that way.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it was like just sitting under the hood apparently. So when you're playing it, it works really well for the most part. But that was part of what I had issues with was when I had first gotten PC VR, so my VR legs weren't super strong. And that kind of a first person thing, it was getting me a little motion sick when I'd play it. From day to day. Not constantly, but just once a week or so I'd be like, I don't feel so good after playing it for half an hour or so.
Yeah. No, my wife can't play any VR. She can't handle it at all.
I'm much better now, but that was like in the beginning, years ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I played my PSVR 2 only once. It made me queasy. Did you have to return it? Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's that refresh rate. If it's not up there right, it can mess with you.
Yeah. Well, it's just your eyes and being completely immersed in stuff. It's like it is disorienting.
And smooth turning, right? Like any of the games, it took me a long time to get used to first person where you're like smooth turning because it's just not natural, right? So but you get used to it.
I also just watched this video. I don't know how true what I'm about to say is. I watched this video about how some humans can detect magnetic fields. Right? They did it. They did a test, and they were altering the Earth's magnetic field in a complete isolation box that was dark, and they were reading like the changes in your brainwaves. And so I wonder. This is the part I don't know if it's true or not. I wonder how much the magnets in our headsets, and affect. And some people responded more than other people. Some people were more sensitive to this effect than other people. So maybe to some extent, the magnets and whatever devices that we put on our heads are interfering with that same sense of magnetic fields that some people have a stronger response to.
Yeah, maybe.
That seems like a good. There's your sequel to the Matrix right there. Like start detecting people that can't handle the Matrix, and they can completely go back and forget the last couple of movies. Yeah, and just there's a new Matrix movie.
My thing with VR was once that I got my VR legs, and I've had VR, multiple headsets, multiple things, and I've played them. But what I find is that by the time I get to gaming, it's later in the evening. And the problem with VR is that when I play it at, like, let's say I start at like 9 o'clock and then I stop at 11, I feel like the day's just starting again. Something about my internal clock, it gets into it, and all of a sudden I'm not tired. So like I can't VR game to unwind.
Right.
And a lot of my playing is basically focused on unwinding, like the same way that to our earlier conversation, people watch TV, people watch a movie. I treat games very similar that way at the end of the day, and VR just isn't compatible with that.
Right.
It amps me up too much.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
You got to find your happy place, your zen place in gaming and movies, TV. That's it's a good place to zone out.
Yeah.
Did you guys see there is some Nintendo Switch 2 rumors? It's claimed that the console will come with Joy-Con controllers that attach magnetically, and it will work with the current Switch Pro controller.
I think if that one's true, that's probably the best news possible for anyone who has a Pro controller right now. Because out of all the controllers the Nintendo's put out, the Pro controllers are really well made.
Yeah, they're nice.
Unlike the Joy-Cons, which have the drift issues and everything, the Pro controllers, I've had mine since I bought my Switch. So 7 years now, haven't had any issues. The battery has remained good. So if I can continue to keep using it on the next Switch.
Will it work with my Steam? My Steam controller? I actually like this. A lot of people hated this piece of kit, but I thought it was cool.
I want it.
It's great.
Give it to me for a while.
No, man. I like it. Let's go play with
it. I missed out when they decided to discontinue them, and they were selling them on their
for like $2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I got a Steam Deck for $5. So I have one of those too.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Or the whatever it was, the adapter for your television.
Oh, okay. Not the actual.
Not the whatever that piece of Steam was called. Not the computer, just the adapter to play your computer stuff on. Yeah.
I want that Steam controller though, Eric. I'm gonna come over and take it.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll put it in the pile of stuff you can have.
Yeah, that's right. Please. I want to try it anyway. I'll give it back after I've broken it.
It's the coolest thing about it, I thought. I don't know how much we want to talk about this, but just real quickly, each one of these is touch sensitive.
Let me go full screen. Hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead. So here we go. The thing that I liked about this controller the most is that you've got your analog stick, but this acts like a mouse. It's touch sensitive, like a mouse, a trackpad is. And this D-pad, I don't know if you can see it, but it has like the D-pad cross on it. So it acts like a D-pad, but it's also touch sensitive too. So if you wanted to do these as your analog control sticks, you could do that.
That's super cool.
But yeah, Steam made it. I mean, I don't know who
Yeah.
they contracted to make
Oh
it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then
Who made
the
it
other
in
kind of
China? But yeah,
unique, the other kind of unique thing about this controller is that your shoulder buttons, you got two of them here, but you've also got a button on either side with this panel that you take
nice.
off to change the batteries. But yeah, it was cool. I used it to play Elite Dangerous, and you could map most of the controls where you needed them to fly around and do stuff pretty
That was
easily
really cool.
with that.
Has anybody played with a controller, since we've been talking about controllers, that replaces like keyboard and mouse well? Like, have they actually made something that would make a console friendly, like World of Warcraft sort of thing? Like, have controllers gotten that? Have they gotten that button crazy to
I
be able
mean,
to replace that stuff?
I use my Xbox controller with Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
So
They've adapted a lot of games
you
to
do
the
have a lot of options to go in and change it, and so it works to replace the mouse and keyboard. But yeah, it's definitely one of those that, if you watch any of these Asian kids play the Warcraft, any of those, that somehow they've managed to make it look like they have 50 fingers on a keyboard, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can do 4 keys at once. You guys are over there playing with all the keys on your keyboard at one time, and I don't get it. Like the dexterity they have when coming to play with the mouse and keyboard, it's absolutely insane to watch, especially in like the competitions.
My mind goes to that kid that won that Tetris
Yeah,
game.
with the bump
So he
roll or
used the
whatnot.
back of the
Yeah.
NES controller to control it. So good, so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a cool technique. So when I saw that the first time, I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
The reason I wondered about that was I was playing Diablo, the new Diablo, with mouse and keyboard, and then I switched one day to Xbox controller, to PlayStation controller, I think is what I had sitting around at the time, and I enjoyed the game much more with it, and so I never went back to mouse and keyboard for that game. And to me, that game was very stuck in mouse and keyboard because of Diablo 2, Diablo, and all that stuff. And then I had the controller, and I'm like, wait a minute, this works with the controller. I'll give it a shot. And I found the game more engaging to play with the controller. I don't know why, and I can't explain why it is, but for some reason it worked. And then I started thinking, like, geez, I wonder what other Blizzard games actually work with mouse and keyboard and work well with it, right?
I know we talk about Microsoft a lot, but I think they just announced too that they have added mouse and keyboard support to a lot of their first party games. Like, I think Diablo 4 is one of them. I don't have the list in front of me, but I think, it all goes back to like what you're most comfortable with, and what you're how you want to play. If I think it would be frustrating for me, like if I really was into a game and I was playing with it with mouse and keyboard, and then I had to switch to a controller, that seems like it might be frustrating a little bit. And I know, Baldur's Gate 3, it seems like that might have a lot of things that would be more for a keyboard and mouse, but I'm going to go straight to it on console, so maybe I'm going to avoid some of that.
I played it both ways. I did both.
Okay.
I did half of run through on mouse and keyboard, and then I switched to controller, and I honestly would go between the two. It wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I mean, I actually enjoyed that one on controller as well.
There wasn't a clear winner?
Not in my book, because they both have plus and minuses.
Okay. Yeah.
My plus and minuses for those, and you guys are console gamers, at least you were a lot earlier than I ever was.
Mm-hmm.
So my plus on using a controller in those RPG games, Diablo and Baldur's Gate, is I'm not just clicking and watching my character walk from point A to point B, right? I'm actually moving them with a stick. And that actually does something as far as my engagement goes.
Like immersion
Like,
enhances
yeah,
immersion. Yeah,
yeah, I don't find myself dozing off as often, to be honest with you.
that makes sense.
Like half the time when it's late at night and I'm just clicking on my mouse and keyboard, it's much easier to be like, okay, it's time to go to bed. When I'm actually moving my character, as silly as it is, using a stick, a thumbstick, I
Hmm.
just feel like I'm more involved. I
Sure.
don't know. I don't
I was
know.
gonna say, I was gonna say too. Last week I bought Rebel Assault 2 on PlayStation 5, and this was a game that I remember playing on PC, and I used a joystick for it on PC. And the game is on if the game was ported to PlayStation 1, I think, and they reported it to PlayStation 5. The game it doesn't go well, but
No.
I think it definitely. I don't have a joystick for my PlayStation 5, but it feels like it needs one for that game, and I'm sure there's other games, but like for me, that seems like a good example of a game where I can't do the conversion, and there's a lot of other problems in it with that game, like the graphics don't add up. I think the PC port is superior. So if you guys played Rebel Assault 2, it was one of the
Hey,
first Star Wars games that actually had live video, and they
Yeah,
actually did some acting in it.
I remember those days. Those were dark days.
Yeah, it was before Episode 1, so people were starving for Star Wars content. Alikrian, thank you for joining, my friend. I would argue some genres work better with certain control schemes, such as real-time strategy games with
Totally.
keyboard and mouse.
Totally.
Action games like Devil May Cry are
Yep.
better with controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Totally.
Solid take.
yeah, it's very much Warcraft. If you've ever played it, is a real time strategy game,
Yeah.
and trying to play it with a keyboard or a controller just doesn't work the same as it does with a keyboard and mouse, where you can move across the screen quickly.
Yeah.
So it definitely is one of those that you know it's the one genre I would say you definitely have to use a keyboard and mouse when playing as real-time strategy.
Yeah, it seems
Halo
like it. I can't think of a way to get around that. Yeah.
Halo Wars was one that tried to use the controller. It was a console exclusive for Microsoft, um, and it wasn't bad, but there was something missing by not having the keyboard and mouse. And because of the fact it was a real-time strategy where you had to tell your people, you had to tell the buildings to create people and do everything. It kind of takes away using the controller, but
I was gonna say
yeah,
too, the difference between arcade games and console games or PC games that sometimes can throw people too. Um, like playing Street Fighter 2 in the arcade, and I'm pretty sure they did eventually port that to PC. And I don't know how well that went, but I think a lot of people were probably using keyboards at first to do some of the moves, and it doesn't translate.
But sometimes using an unconventional setup can unlock like interesting ways of playing games too.
It's true.
So the thing that jumps to my mind is in college, um, I was playing this game. I think it was called Ronin. It was like a mech. It was a very Japanese mech first-person shooter game, and my roommate Reed was watching me play this game, and he wanted to play, but much like your wife in VR, he gets motion sick with those kinds of games. And so he was getting motion sick like just watching me. And I was like, well, what if you control the mouse and I control the character, right? You control where we're looking and I'll control where we're moving. And he's like, okay. And so we played that game and we beat that game together like that. Like it was almost like a Pacific Rimming the game, right? We were drift compatible. And so yeah, I would control the mech and he would control the aiming, and that way he wouldn't get motion sick and we could beat the game together. It's
There
kind
you
of
go.
fun.
It's the only way to beat Terminator 2 arcade is you have to have two players. One guy, the helicopter stage, one guy's got to shoot the top and one guy's got to shoot the bottom. and you
forgot
got to
about
dual
that.
gun it. That's the only way to beat it.
I forgot about that.
So that's a good topic for tonight. You guys are on
Well,
it. Dathan, you're kind of quiet though. Dathan, do you have any
Yes.
thoughts on this?
I'm dreading tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, I didn't think you'd be here tonight.
Dathan's got a marathon tomorrow.
Yeah.
that's right.
Where are you running tomorrow, Dathan?
It's not too far from my house. It's only like a couple blocks from where it starts. So it's at Main City Park here in Gresham, and then I run up the Springwater Trail a long time, and then I come back a long time, and then I go up a bunch of hills for a long time, and then I go down, and then it's back around, and then it's pancakes and beer. So that's that's that. But back to the controller topic. I think like Chris was saying, every genre's got its own thing, and whatever works best. I've been kind of hoping to try the Steel Battalion controller. I've never played that with the foot pedals, and I know at PRGE they hook up like 17 of them all together. But I've always wanted to try to bust that out. But when it comes to just like the mouse and keyboard, I have never played a game with mouse and keyboard before, unless it was a point and click PC game. That was it. So I've never played Warcraft or any of those.
So did you guys ever have the keyboard for Dreamcast? It was awesome because it came out with Typing of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead.
Never had. And I think there was another one that you needed to type with. Quake 3 was on Dreamcast, and you could use keyboard and mouse. That was dope. And I'm pretty sure I played that in the dorms with that. It was awesome.
The other thing that I was curious about was I've been using controllers now with my PC for like the last 3 years, and so I've gotten away from the keyboard and mouse thing. With the what I used to not like was the PlayStation controllers. Like I was always an Xbox controller because that was the first console that I bought. Recently, I'd always figured, okay, well, I can't play first-person shooters with a controller. I need a keyboard and mouse. Recently, I tried the DualShock with a PlayStation, and I found that I'm actually really good at first-person shooters with that controller, as opposed to the Xbox. And I actually don't like the PlayStation controller. I find it really uncomfortable. But something about it makes it so I'm better aim with first-person shooters, and now it's the controller I use every day, even though I actually find the Xbox more comfortable. For people who have been playing console games for a long time, is there a controller? Does that experience translate to your experience going from console to console, or is that just a me thing?
It can.
Like preferring one controller type, like the Xbox versus a PlayStation, the one that I'm familiar with, right? But there's other over the years types, right, and layouts and ergonomics.
I think a lot of it, I get thrown off going from Xbox to PlayStation because I don't remember where maybe the A button is different on, or it's definitely different on Switch. The A button is on the very right, and on Xbox it's on the very bottom. And you'll have those games where you need to press a button really quick, and I'm like, oh god, what system am I playing on now? PlayStation, like, at least they have square, triangle, circle. Like I think you can kind of figure out where those are, but you got to jog your memory. A lot of it is muscle memory, but like sometimes you got to be quick on your feet and maybe just look down. So that's what I have a lot of problems going from controller to controller.
Okay. But not so much the ergonomics and the aiming and stuff like that, because that's what I've always struggled with those, was like aiming in first person sort of games.
It feels like a big jump to go from the Pro controller to the Joy-Cons.
N64 was not a natural control scheme. I will say that. I don't know what you're smoking, Meatball.
N64, you needed 3 hands because there was the middle grip, right?
The N64 was just a Wii controller on the middle. That's all it was, and then it's got that separate thing. If you go back and try to play GoldenEye, on an N64 controller. It's terrible.
Mm.
Absolutely
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah. It
You
feels like
can't
the
do it.
scrapes in the wrong spot, and yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Oh, okay, Alikrian got another good comment. I think preferences are normal. I always take a Nintendo controller for platformers because Sony and Xbox can never figure out how to do a decent D-pad. I prefer Xbox controllers for shooters.
So, so the interesting thing about the PlayStation controller, and the reason why it's not an ABXY, is because the original creator of the controller wanted them to mean things. So, like the triangle on the button is actually like the person's viewpoint. So
Oh.
Mm.
he, like the square refers to a piece of paper, so you want it to be like your menu or documents. And then, of
Mm.
course, the X and the circle are supposed to represent yes and no decision making. So there was like a purpose behind the controller and everything, the buttons. And
Mhm.
I'm sure at the time in his head it made a lot of sense. But
Mhm.
when you're competing with other game console manufacturers, um,
Yes, he did. He sold it well, though.
yeah, I'm really good at selling things. No, this is actually something I Googled. But I think in his mind, it was probably something that, he had this great idea and everything. But it wasn't until, according to this article and everything, 2010 is when he explained the meaning behind these
Huh.
These
buttons.
buttons.
So nobody knew. They just, as far as gamers looked at the PlayStation and were like, yeah, we like this. This is cool. We don't know why they didn't go with an AB when everybody else is using that. But yeah, we kind of understand what the meaning is. This is the same thing as A. Um,
You know what I would like to hear from all you guys? What is your favorite controller? And maybe if you want to say keyboard and mouse or a certain setup. Um, I don't know. Do you guys have
Favorite
a favorite
favorite
system for?
controller was the Microsoft Sidewinder force feedback joystick for when I was
Oh
playing
yeah, yeah,
X-Wing.
yeah.
Playing
Nice.
X-Wing on that was the best way to play X-Wing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember playing X-Wing or I played a lot of TIE
TIE
Fighter
Fighter,
with
yeah.
it with
X-Wing
the
TIE Fighter
yeah.
was the third one
X-Wing
from
Alliance.
Alliance. Yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah.
probably the best one for that
I
joystick.
remember I got a new graphics card when X-Wing Alliance came out. It
Yeah.
made it look so nice.
The Voodoo 2. Which one?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
that was a dope.
Voodoo.
That was a dope card.
Mine's honestly got to be the Duke, the original Xbox
The
controller,
big one.
the big one.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
And the only reason
Didn't you
I
have
say
big
that,
hands?
no, yes, my hands are huge. No, it's the only controller that I could sit there and play games for hours on, and it never I never got a sense of fatigue by holding that controller.
But
Um,
it's a
and
heavy controller.
it, it was a heavy controller, and I think that's one of the reasons why the I play more with the Xbox controller than I do any of the other ones, is because this one feels the most comfortable and natural. But I do start to get like a fatigue feeling, like carpal tunnels setting in, holding it after a while, and I never felt like I got that with the Duke. So, um, and of course, I could always defend myself with the Duke. I could just start beating people over the head with that thing. It was so big.
That's funny.
Dathan, did you have a favorite control scheme?
Dreamcast, VMU.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I would go with. I was hoping that technology would stay around, but it never
Didn't
caught
take
on.
off. Yeah,
I would
it's a
say
cool
though
concept.
the overall shape though of the controller wasn't the best though, right? I feel like the triggers weren't the best. The buttons on the Dreamcast controller um, compared to today's buttons were um, I don't know, didn't have that good tactile feel that maybe the newer ones do.
I don't know. I was able to play multiple genres of the game. I mean, I played RPGs, played a lot of Soul Calibur, and
Okay.
it worked. It didn't feel now going from the Dreamcast controller to the GameCube controller was a huge difference. That was a huge step between the two. But yeah, I played multiple shooters. I played, I think, Power Stone was on the Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
Played that, and I thought it was a great controller.
If you still have, do you have Power Stone 2 graded? That's worth a lot of money, dude.
I don't think so. Let me check. No, it's not. I don't think I have any.
I'm gonna start
No.
talking about a game, and you're just gonna show up. Oh, here's my graded copy.
No,
Right.
I don't.
That's
have,
what you did last week.
9.5 and above only.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have that.
So
but
make me
I
so
will say I
jealous.
probably have the only Friday the 13th the game graded collection in the entire world. I'll tell you that.
Oh. Yeah, it is sad that I do really miss that VMU aspect. I hopefully, yeah, it's disappointing. No other publishers, developers came up with it. So
I'm honestly surprised Nintendo didn't do something with Pokemon Go and like their controllers and a VMU type of system. Have them link up with your Pokemon games. That'd be a perfect thing for them to take that technology and run with.
I like how you say Pokemon. Anyway, it's been getting late. I'm gonna go. I want to go and eat dinner. I haven't eaten dinner yet, but it's been a great show. Any final thoughts from any of you guys? Good topic tonight on controllers.
Yeah.
I was gonna. My favorite is probably the Xbox 360 controller.
Mm.
I think
The
it's good
Elite?
all the way around. No, just the regular.
No.
The one that came with the console.
Oh, right, because the 360s didn't have the Elite. Sorry.
No,
That's the
no.
new iteration. Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
that's what
360 was a good controller. That's
very
true.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Thank you, Meatball Saucy, for showing up, bro. You're the man. If you're in Oregon, where are you at? I think I've talked to you before. Are you on the coast somewhere?
You should have come out to Next Level Pinball when we went.
I think he lives at the coast or something.
Well, come out next time when we go because it's great.
Yeah.
It's worth the drive.
And come out to Portland Retro Gaming Expo and all that stuff. We're gonna do more meetups. Oh, he lives in Hillsboro?
It's right next to it.
You could carpool with Dathan. You're right there. Or Travis. Travis is right there.
I'm right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 10 minutes away. Yeah, you gotta come, man. Awesome. All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining. It's been a good show. Chris, you have any final thoughts?
Just looking forward to whatever's coming out, game wise, movies.
Yeah, next week let's go over the games coming out in May.
And
we can go over that kind of stuff.
It'll definitely be fun to see what all's coming out, and then
there's starting to be a lot of games coming out.
Maybe we can go back in time and talk about our favorite 2000s video games we played. Who knows? We can always figure.
I want to have this channel or this stream be about the past, but also looking forward to the future too. So we can. I see a lot of YouTube streams just talk about the past. At least guys our age, I feel like.
Sure.
And I want to. I mean, it's cool to talk about the 80s and the 90s, but there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, but I still think there's some good stuff going on in gaming. With a grain of salt, like there's stuff on here and I'll complain about it with you guys, but for the most part I think there's still a lot of good stuff, and that's why I enjoy still playing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, we can have the bitch session the next week.
Yeah. Well, those have good engagement, so I'm all for it. Anyway, with that, Thanks so much, everybody. Be sure to like this video if you haven't, and consider subscribing to my channel and Asa Jack's Media Grounds. We're also live on. I thought I was on Insta. No, I think my Instagram's still going. Um, we're live on Twitter or X, and someone is watching on Twitch. So whoever you are, you're the man or woman. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, thank you so much.